Hello and welcome to the video. This is a quick video on this thing here. This is the iFlight A65, our little 1S whoop that I've been playing with here and just want to make a kind of a quick review video on. Now I have done quite a lot of whoop reviews, actually lots of things under the sub 250 gram limit. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link down below, go and check them out, because the headline for this is that this is average. There are lots of better things than this for the money. But let me get into why I think that is. So while I unbox it, let me go through the specs. On here is an F4 based flight controller. This is a 65mm wheelbase, weights about 25 gram without a battery, and you're going to get 3 or 4 minutes flight time cruising around. It's designed really for a beginner, I think, with the 1S capability, and it only has angle mode set up in Betaflight, but I'll show you that in a minute. The construction's quite nice. The main board is the flight controller with the on-screen display and everything else and all the ESCs. The motors are connected via flying leads, and they're little brushless motors. Those little brushless motors are 0802 Xing Nano. I think they're 22,000 kV brushless motors, and they're spinning HQ 31mm 3-bladed props. The camera at the front isn't great. It's an 800 TVL line 150-degree camera, and there's no adjustability in that at all. The LiPo battery recommended for this, because you can see there isn't a battery with it, and there's also no battery charger in here as well, surprising for this amount of money, is the 1S 300 mAh LiPo battery size. Now, as usual, I did plug it into Betaflight and go through all the usual stuff. Dump and diff files are down below, and there was no real surprises. It's not the latest and greatest version of Betaflight, and the props are reversed on here. But again, I'm not going to go through everything, because if you really want to, the dump and diff are available down below. However, it's when I went to try and fly this that I found a bit of a problem. The main problem is that one of the motors doesn't start, and occasionally I'm having to flick it with my finger to get it started. That is not great. These are cute little brushless motors, and probably the smallest motors that iFlight have used on a model like this. But you shouldn't have to stick your finger in a prop to try and get it to run. There is some nice stuff on here. I do like the fact that they're using real receivers. So it's a real FreeSky receiver. You can get it with others as well, including Crossfire. And that means that rather than use the horrible SPI things, you are getting the full advantage of a real receiver. The build quality isn't bad. The actual main board itself is nicely laid out. There's a daughter board above it that seems to have all the video transmitting stuff on it. I like the fact there's options above 25 milliwatts for those of you that live in places where that's an option. The USB cable is nice and easy to get to, and I like the fact the receiver's even powered from the USB cable, so when you plug it into the computer you can have the bind button pressed, and it makes it really simple to bind it to your radio. The Betaflight setup isn't badly done either. The way the tune's set up and everything when you can get it flying is okay. But the list of things I'm not a fan of is a little bit longer. There's no batteries in the box, there's no charger in the box, and there should be for this kind of money. Definitely a battery or two. The antenna routing for the antennas isn't great. I've tried a couple of different positions on mine, still trying to figure out where they need to be. Need to be a little bit more thought for that. You don't want those getting caught in the props and damaging the prop or getting cut off. I found that the antenna VTX probably needs a little blob of hot glue or something on top of it to stop it coming off, because in the event of a crash it can actually pull the little connector off the board at the top. The camera is also another bit of a disappointment. The performance of the camera is okay. Most of the FPV cameras these days are adequate, but that's about all I can say about this one. And the lack of adjustability means that you are stuck at flying at one particular angle. For this kind of money, there are better options around that come with batteries and perform better out the box too. This little model has a QC sticker on the bottom, but I'm really questioning what that QC sticker actually means. Having sticky motors and stuff isn't ideal. If you can get the motors running, then it's an adequate 1S prop. But for this kind of money, you don't want adequate. This kind of money, you can get some really, really good models. And it could be reviewer's curse. I could have just got a dodgy one, but I'm not the only one that suffered with these sticky motors. and that speaks to a lack of quality or testing. So for me, I would avoid this one. This is only going to get a 2 out of 5 pill rating. Check out the playlist for something that's going to give you a lot more fun. Thank you for watching my video and watching right to the very end. If you want to find out what I'm currently working on, you can follow me on social media by searching for Painless360 in the usual places. If you'd like to become part of the inner circle, then you can become a Patreon. Details are in the description and you get lots of additional benefits. Check out the playlist section on the channel too. I organise all of my videos into playlists, and it's called something like Introduction to or for Beginners. All of the content is aimed so that you can start at the very beginning, and it teaches you that subject, starting with simple principles and moving up to teach you everything you need to know.